questions about Walter?
For the most part.
Okay.
I mean, she had issues. She brought them to their attention, and it seems like they immediately resolved them in every case.
And there's gonna be a condition.
As always, I'm concerned, how do we undo the conditions? Like, what repercussions?
I don't think they're bad ones.
That's the problem. If there's no repercussions, you have incentive just to not answer the phone number 24 hours a day.
Yes, but then we revoke their certificate of
It
occupancy.
saves us money.
So that is the repercussion.
By the official clock on the wall, we are at 3 o'clock, so call our meeting, special meeting of the council to order. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brenner?
Here.
Councilmember Stanko? Councilmember Reimer?
Here.
Councilmember Mokel?
Here.
Councilmember Barnett? Here. Councilmember Weinhofer?
Here.
And Council President James.
Here. Okay, do we have any public comments as they relate to the items on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. Okay, we're here today to discuss the fire department engine apparatus purchase. And I'm gonna, I guess, start off with Chief Holmes.
May I interrupt? This is a combined council and F&P. I'm on F&P, and on F&P I can vote, which I can't do on council. So it seems like I ought to be somehow roll called in order to do whatever the F&P part of this is.
Yeah, you raise a point that I think we need to deal with. So what I would suggest is the committee needs to open its meeting as well. And then as far as the format is concerned, we might be looking for a recommendation from the committee to council before council takes any action.
Good point. So yes, we have to do the F&P part first before anything else. Okay, so we will do that before the council aspect of it.
That's with personality.
Yes.
So roll call again?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, committee roll call.
Bill James?
Here.
Fred Mokel?
Here.
Ron Stanko?
Here.
Fred Levering?
Here.
And Steve Brenner?
Here.
Alrighty. We have been exploring the purchase of a new engine, which is at its lifetime now of 15 years. No point in me saying anything more. Chief, I'm going to let you take it over. Okay, all right.
All right, so our apparatus committee that we put together with members from the department has been working diligently to look at our needs to serve the community. And first and foremost would be an engine replacement. In this process, we were able to look at some demo fire engines that were available on the market, as well as developing our own spec for what we would build. The build time ranges from 30 to 48 months, depending on how much specification you go into with building a new apparatus. There is currently one through CoStar's. It's a Pierce engine through Blick Fire Apparatus down in Lancaster County, who we have a long-term service relationship with. They've serviced our apparatus for years. So they currently have a demo engine that is up for sale, as presented up on the board there. There are some modifications that we would be asking to make it fit our needs here in the borough, as well as getting some graphics done on it to signify it as Wyomissing. The committee put together those needs to change and had presented it and received a quote for that as well as the quote for the engine itself. You can see that the Pierce Enforcer engine, that style of cab matches what we currently have on the ladder truck. So being able to bounce between the two apparatus is not going to throw the driver off. He's going to be comfortable because the setup with the steering wheel and all the switches is the same. And for the officer riding in the right front seat, it's going to be identical as well. The iPad directly in front of you, the siren controls where they normally are. So you're not out of sorts. One of the big intents with bringing this to the table and hopefully going forward with it is having a fire engine that is up to date with the current safety requirements and specifications per NFPA. Gives us that better opportunity to be able to split the call volume between the ladder truck and the engine. Currently with a 15-year-old engine, we haven't been running it. My fear is that if we do start running it hard, that it's going to have issues mechanically, and we're going to be stuck with just one apparatus. Also, from an ISO standpoint, adding an additional pump and water capacity to the fire department helps boost some of those scores. The more we can bring to the table ourselves, the less reliant we have to be on what our neighboring mutual aid agencies can bring. So we have some opportunity to gain some more credits on that stuff. On that note, underneath there, on the, was it number C, the changes, they've worked out through a list of pertinent changes to be made. There we go. Those are to meet how our fire department is set up for the most part, as well as making it more user-friendly and to store the equipment that we need to be storing on there to do the fire engine job. The biggest thing is trying to standardize some of the components from the ladder truck over to the engine, again, for that ease of operation so that there's less confusion when we're going from vehicle to vehicle.
Which one are you looking at?
Magnetic or wrapper.
Yes, so we have a diesel exhaust removal system in the firehouse, and that is so that the hoses that hang down from the ceiling in the apparatus room can connect to the apparatus, takes the exhaust out above the building, and they automatically disconnect as we're pulling out. What? Thumb retention, which,
Labor item D, halfway down, 38688, provide install thumb retentions for both drivers and officer sun visor.
so the sun visors that are in there right now do not have anything to hold them up. So it's a mechanism that is on the ceiling above them to be able to turn it, to let it come down. Yeah. The vibration,
I was just blaming Keith Holmes, that's all.
that is
What
good.
do you people for that?
With the vibration of the apparatus driving down the street, those tend, if they're not retained, they fall down in front.
So you're mentioning about everyone being able to go between both pieces of equipment.
Yes.
Is this, so the one we're replacing, 15 years old, how old is the other apparatus?
So the ladder truck is a 2020, so we're 4.5 years into it.
So are those the more of the generally accepted places moving forward, or is there a movement of those on the horizon that the next truck would be something different? Is this a same step, a backward step in terms of that?
So this is kind of closing a gap that was created previously. With the engine, at 10 years, it should have stayed into like a reserve status to be able to be used as a backup. Here at the 15-year mark, honestly, it shouldn't be used the way that we use it. The hope is, knowing that there are significant build times, when you're looking at an aerial device, the replacement for that is pushing the 4-year mark. So that would give time left on the current aerial to be able to develop the spec properly to serve the borough, and then move forward on that side when we have to.
And is this the unanimous recommendation of the committee?
Yes.
Just to be clear too, this exact truck was at the station last week, and you know, firefighters got to see it, got to touch it, got to open all the compartments, get inside of it.
It fit in the building.
Yes,
did.
it fits.
A couple of the big improvements with this is they have what they call a New York style hose bed, which is lower to the ground, so you're not risking back injury as you are with earlier model where you gotta reach up to load the hose back on and pull it off, you know, it's a lot lower to the ground. I was up looking at the demo piece along with Michelle, and it's an impressive piece, there's no doubt about it. But it is one that meets our needs in talking to the members of the committee. One of the important things, I think, for us to keep in mind is that when a demo piece comes available, we meaning the borough, has never purchased a demo piece. We've always purchased custom to fit all of our needs. The problem is, turnaround time would be 8 months to a year. Well,
Keep going.
as it's now 3 years for an engine, 4 years for an aerial. I mean, it's just going ridiculous. When Click, I guess, notified the chief that there's a demo available, the way that works is they have to bid with Pierce. Click has to bid on a demo piece that Pierce is building. There's no guarantee what's coming next. Next could be a tanker truck. Okay, we certainly don't need a tanker in the borough. But, so, that's why we've kind of rushed through this a little bit, because we heard some other places were also interested in this. I forget exactly what the engine hours are, but it's next to none. There's only 2,000 road miles on it. You know, it's an opportunity for us, and that's why we decided we gotta bring this before council as soon as possible, so we don't lose out on the opportunity, if that's the way we all wanna go.
And unfortunately, they were not willing to take, you know, any letter of intent, even a minor or major deposit to hold it. It was, you have to sign the purchase order. And to do that, obviously, we need council approval.
All will take the customers.
When we were talking to the sales rep last week, he was thinking it could take 3 to 4 weeks.
So since we haven't been talking about this regularly over the last several months, Steve, can you tell us where we are with cash flow with regard to putting the money down on this, I guess?
Well, we do have $400 and some odd thousand that we've reserved for the sale of the ladder truck, tower truck, sorry.
Is that separate from the street sweeper?
Well, as borough finances work, we have reserves set up, and that's perfect in our mind. The reality is it's all cash. And the intent was to purchase another vehicle with that $456,000. Still leaves us a gap of $550,000.
Which I think is jumping a little bit to the next.
I don't want to talk about that because it's on here.
All right, it hasn't been said this afternoon, but my understanding is this is a CoStar's contract, so there wouldn't be any public bidding required, is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you want to talk about the financing?
Keep going. Go on.
Well, we can't do anything, you know, might as well discuss the financing part of it, you know. Because we can't make an educated, you know, vote, you know,
Well,
without knowing that, so.
Do you want me to talk about the history of PFM and them coming?
Sure.
Okay. So, at the, I believe it was June finance meeting, there was direction given to Phyllis and I to start looking at long-term financing options for the short-term bridge loan for the Public Works Garage. One of the companies we reached out to is PFM, which is, but is not a subsidiary of Fliggett. They are not a loan broker. They serve as a consultant / analyst to help municipalities find the best rates with different banks. So,
The city of Reading get it back 47,
yes.
as an example.
Jamie Schlesinger from PFM will be coming to the August finance meeting. That was in the works before this came up. So when I reached out to Jamie last week just to say, hey, we now have this other piece of the puzzle we need to fit in, he told me about something which is called a resolution of reimbursement. And Chris, feel free to interrupt me if I misspeak at any point.
Go ahead.
But what that resolution effectively does is allows us to pay for the fire engine with general funds, buys us time to find long-term financing, that once that long-term financing is established, we would then use to reimburse the general fund. So we're not scrambling to find financing to pay for the fire truck, we can pay for it with general funds and then just reimburse ourselves. And that also buys us time to have a bigger picture conversation about, do we wanna finance the engine, the short-term bridge loan, and potentially other Borough Hall Police Department administrative needs, so we're doing it in one large piece instead of small pieces.
I've worked with Jamie for many years, with a lot of municipalities, and his firm has always done a great job.
The other nice thing to that is if we did finance each of these things individually, there's effectively $10,000 in legal costs that goes into each one. So now we're just paying that once instead of 3 times.
So our cash flow should be able to handle all of
Yeah,
these
we
projects.
have plenty of money in
funds
reserves, we could do it, yeah.
Without, there's nothing else anticipated about large scale events that could cause.
Tell you the next thunderstorm, but until then, we're good. I mean,
Yeah,
I would say we're good in terms of having cash on hand. It depends on your appetite to spend the cash on hand.
I will be presenting in September to the Relief Association, that we purchase, or reimburse the borough for all safety equipment. That is the sirens, the lights, all of that, that's all through the state, guidelines. That is a relief approved by, for purchase by relief. Now, it's going on a paid piece of apparatus, if you will, quote, as of now, but hopefully I get the relief, DPUD relief to pay for that equipment.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Cost-wise?
Good time.
No, now that I just got the overall, the entire list of everything, I can sort through all that and add up the prices.
So Chief, I have 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
We're buying a demo.
Yes.
So how many effective years are we losing because it's a demo?
It is a 2024.
And how many miles is that on?
2,000.
2,000 each. Okay.
And it's been held by the dealership as the sole operator.
Yeah. All right, so
Yes.
what do we plan to do with the current 15-year-old engine?
That's a good question. We can keep it in case the ladder truck would break down and I still have 2 pumps. We can use it as collateral when we go forward with the ladder truck replacement, or we can venture out and try and sell it. The last quote that I was,
collateral, meaning?
kind of like a down payment.
No, sell
Yeah,
it. Yeah, trade it in.
right,
Trade it in.
right. Just like we
Do you have
do
any idea what the value of that might be?
The last time that we had it, had a valuation for it, it was at $100,000.
So if we went out and bought this apparatus and just said we're gonna spec it out, get it in 24, 36 months, what's the number for a non-demo?
For a non-demo, we were right around the 1.4.
So when you buy a demo, they just drive around the other, they put
Take
fires
us all.
out all over Pennsylvania.
Usually those go out to shows. Goes out to shows.
So, so it's just,
Comes to Wyomissing Fire Department.
and they're not speeding, so you do it.
Right.
Has it been used in any firefighting?
No.
Do we have any kind of a service and repair report on this piece of apparatus?
We could get one. I can see if I can.
Having sat through, a lot of discussions about repairs on fire equipment, it seems to me there's some benefit to having one that's a little bit broken in, to the extent that,
Yeah, I don't know,
it doesn't.
2,000 miles and the 2024 doesn't bother me.
Because there are lemons out there, right? You know,
Following along with that train of thought, what's the warranty?
7 years,
7
bumper to
years.
bumper,
Years bumper.
7?
bumper to bumper.
That was on that list.
It-
I can't read that.
And what's the useful life, chief?
Okay.
10 years frontline service, 5 years as a reserve.
So if it's 15-year max, what is, like, how are we getting, who's buying a 15-year-old vehicle?
You'd be surprised when
There
I
are a
was,
lot of departments out there.
Okay.
or even,
They're just-
People
that's what
buy
they got.
New York City, and you wanna talk about things that are beat, you know, but these other small communities who can't afford, that's what they have to, that's what they need to buy.
Jamie told me that his parents are actually retired firefighters and they currently have 4 retired engines sitting in their front yard because, like, he's like, these are the kind of, like, my parents would probably buy this. Okay.
I'm looking for the antique Mac to buy.
Well, getting one that runs.
I'm talking about.
General finance question, why would we pay for it in cash if we have a useful life
Couldn't
of
have built
10 to 15 years? Why wouldn't we finance it over the use?
Just built.
Yes.
One meeting.
It was
The, what, this the one, for the preliminary
Sorry,
information.
I was listening to you, but I think, sorry.
The preliminary information that we're getting from financial entities have been that we would stand a better chance of getting a better price of maybe 5.2% on our money versus 6.2 that Pierce is offering.
Yeah,
So-
Jamie told me point blank that that lease is, he said it's not a horrible deal, but it's not a great deal compared to what he thinks we could get.
So my thought, Fred, would be we take the balance of what we have reserved and finance the balance, but I can go in a different direction.
They're talking about these purchases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah, I just hate to eat up all the cash for an asset that has a life, useful life, so we don't.
I don't think we know terms of how long the loan would be at this point, do we?
No, I mean, DCED is really gonna regulate that based off of the things that are being rolled into that loan and what DCED would approve the useful life expectancy of. And talking through that with Jamie, you know, our building is gonna have a longer life expectancy than, say, a fire truck, but the fire truck would probably, since that is the thing with the shortest life expectancy, he was thinking 15 years, possibly stretching into 20.
There's always the possibility if you have a budget surplus to start paying it off early if you wanted to. But I think the idea is to wrap around this, whatever happens with this, and whatever happens, refinance that short-term loan at the financial institution that I work at. You know, shop it out and see which is the best deal.
Is there any way to squeeze out a couple of years on the warranty, since you've got a 7-year warranty and what you anticipate being a 10-year truck?
It's another very good question. I don't have an answer for you on that.
I'm sure if you pay for it, you will.
It's gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad.
Well, my hunch is, if it works like a car, after 3 years, we'll get an offer to extend the warranty if you want to.
I mean, the fortunate thing, Pierce is one of the best manufacturers out there.
So as I'm weighing this.
It's better than Seagrave.
I'm weighing, yeah, don't even bring that word up. I am weighing a $1.06 million purchase versus a $1.4 million purchase 2 years down the road. Of which we have some money available to a vehicle that Chris eloquently put. Maybe got the rust knocked off for a little bit at least, and we know it's not a total limit at least, we don't know at this point. Hopefully we can get some relief association. Yeah. Part of my problem, chief, with this whole thing is, and you know this, I've told you this before, I feel like we're buying this fire truck for West Reading and every other damn community that doesn't have a fire station. So I'm not counting Spring and I'm only going to Vancouver and all that other good stuff. But it drives me insane that we are the county's police, the fire department, if you count us in Spring, I know we're two different things. But us in Spring seem to be the west side of the county's fire department, and that drives me insane. So it boggles my mind that we have to do this without any help from a potential next door neighbor who's gonna benefit by it, because they're probably gonna be the one to buy the 15-year-old fire truck that if we do sell it, that turns around and breaks down anyway. But
Generally, I would agree with you on that, but I know West Reading had the new engine on order.
I thought they just got it.
They just got, doesn't Spring have something?
It's gray.
Spring has something.
Spring has a couple.
You know, they have
In the
two engines
pipeline.
on order.
I'm not picking on West Reading, I'm picking on.
No, I know, we're one
Where's
of the
that
county
we got with that app that
departments.
you sent me, that you got me hooked up with, that shows me where you're going every time, it's right, insane. But I guess we have to deal with what we have to deal with. The question is, do we have any opportunity for grant money?
We already have a pending, grant in through the local share account, the statewide pot for $1 million, that if we, I mean, they won't.
Statewide pot for $1 million.
Yes.
So we might get 20.
Um,
Better than nothing, but.
no, out of the local pot, we got 53,000 when we asked for $1 million, so my hope is out of the statewide pot, we'd get half $1 million if we asked for $1 million.
Oh, it's not $1 million for the whole state, it's $1 million that you can apply for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that
Yes.
makes me feel a whole lot better.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, I should have communicated that better.
So we're potentially buying this truck with 400 and some odd thousand of reserves, we'll see if we use it all.
Right.
Somewhere down the road, financing that 400, or the other 500 and $600,000. And hoping we can get some money from the Relief Association to offset it.
And grant.
Hoping we can get
The
some
grant would
money.
not be eligible towards this if we already purchased it, but we could use that towards the ladder in the future. But
And
that,
we're not gonna get it either, because I know we don't need a ladder truck anytime soon.
no, actually, that's what we put in for in the grant. The grant was for the ladder truck, that's not to say they wouldn't allow us to shift it to the
That
engine,
doesn't help
but
us. Yeah. I mean, it helps us.
On
definitely.
the road, not here.
Yeah, I'll go over here. And then we have the piece of selling the other truck, if we wanna do that. So if we got 100 grand for the other truck and we use 450, just for my easy numbers, we're at 550, we're borrowing $500,000 at what we hope is somewhere around 5.2%. The question becomes, and I don't know if this committee is involved in that, the question becomes, if we start taking money out of Pliget and give it to a bank, does that give us a better opportunity, give us a better loan? Yeah, but you have to offset that by.
We'll let you know.
I think that's a potential question or something we ask Jamie to put in the terms and conditions when he shops.
I mean, some of the initial comments that, you know, if we do something with the building plus the fire truck, you know, then potentially we could go down to 5 point, or maybe even a little less, you know.
Well, the question becomes, and we'll never answer it, but I'm just looking right now. Interest rates are coming down, I just looked at. They're gonna come down. So do we have, maybe we term the loan that it's a shorter loan that we refinance somewhere down the line? But I guess Jamie can help us do all that.
I was gonna suggest when he comes to the August finance meeting, ask those questions. I would think what happens in November is gonna have a great impact as well.
If it takes a year and a half to get the truck, what point do we start paying? How much?
No, this truck we get in 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, this one's
This
coming.
one's available now.
This one is available.
It's,
That 3 to 4
It's
years.
built, it's gotta get the pretty lettering on it and all the
So
other
it's
stuff.
not yellow and then.
it's in Lancaster County right now.
Pass that
Uh,
page, pass it out.
Picture right there, what it looks like.
Fire truck, it
We'll
looks
set
great.
it here.
Do we have other questions that we An open
You've
discussion.
you've been the chief for how long?
Since March.
How much money have you spent so far?
Yeah,
Now tell him you're kidding.
I am
Well,
kidding,
no,
I'm kidding. I wouldn't be laughing if I wasn't kidding.
I mean, you know.
We've added a bunch of people, we've
Yeah.
done all that good stuff.
Chief is very responsible, and I wanna come back to what you just said, but he comes up to me and says, you know, I feel bad that I've done this already. The fact of the matter is, this is all stuff that should have been going on for the past 10, 12 years, and it hasn't. You know, so it's catching up with us now.
What would we do with the truck if we didn't sell it? Just have it as a backup piece?
we would use it as a backup piece in case the engine goes down or the ladder truck goes down. That way I'll know for
But
sure.
if we're worried about it breaking down and we're not using it already,
My concern is that running it full-time, that it could develop issues.
and running
Being
it
15
very
years old.
rarely would help it.
Well, it gets checked every week. The fluids are checked,
Well,
the
that
pump is
actually,
run.
but
In an emergent situation, if we had it there and could use it, that's good. But I also,
just bought one.
I also see the point of selling it.
I mean, how much is it gonna depreciate over the course of, if you hold on to it for another 3 or 4 years, sitting there?
Probably not much.
Checking the fluid, not much.
Not much.
It's already depreciated as
Yeah.
much as it's gonna. It's like driving your car off the parking lot of the dealer.
Yeah,
Just drop $5,000 on the spot, but depending on what you buy, but.
how much are we putting into
Every car I
keeping
do
it
drops
maintained
$5,000
every year?
in the street.
It's just sort of
It's-
sitting there as a backup. It's the maintenance on it gonna cost.
So sitting there, you've got the pump testing, the annual inspection, and the ladder testing for the portable ground ladders. You're looking around 2,500 to 3,000 that we're putting into it a year.
And depending on what this group does, finance is gonna grin and bear it, or finance is gonna put their input in too, because what happens if this group says yes, and the finance committee says no?
This group is
This-
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, good to know. So basically, we're making the recommendation now, and the finance committee is gonna have to deal with the consequences of it.
Yes.
So how's that work?
Because we're just in committee meeting now, we're gonna go to council meeting, special council meeting.
Oh, that's right, we're gonna vote on it as a council, the next council meeting's in a couple minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Got
And
it.
technically it's running concurrent with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry,
That's
I
what
forgot.
I meant when I said this group, is what I was saying with council.
Okay, now I understand what you're saying, okay. $350,000 seems to be a lot of money that we're not spending. I just can't get over the 550 that we are. Net out, some relief association bailout, net out, potential selling of the truck. But at the end of the day, my roof caught on fire and they were there quick and they put it out, so I get it.
So are we skipping over the finance committee?
Yes.
Okay. As opposed to, so that it's just gonna
The
be.
finance committee's gonna have to deal with, okay, now we've got $1 million. When do we have to write the check?
Whatever.
30 days,
Yes,
in 30 days.
Is the finance committee here?
No,
Do we have a quorum?
No.
no.
There's, it hasn't been advertised.
No, I understand, but I was thinking about this before, sort of like on some Friends theory. I was thinking, how do we buy a fire truck for $1 million or 900,000 without the finance committee having something to say about it?
Because ultimately
Council's
council.
also here, and we're gonna tell the finance committee if we do that, that we're buying this
We're-
truck.
we're fortunate
You
enough-
figure out how to pay for it.
Right, we're fortunate enough to have Steve here also, who can talk about finance, since he heads finance as well. The issue is, and let me go back to what I said, yeah, we can say, well, let's wait and talk to finance about this. Well, we wait, and next thing the truck goes bye-bye, and then we're back to ground zero.
So who's missing from the finance committee?
And it can cost us a hell of a lot more, yeah.
So who's missing from the finance committee?
Everybody's here.
Dave
Nobody's
Reacher.
missing.
Okay,
Other-
so it's just that it
other
wasn't,
than Dave
if
Reacher.
it had been advertised, it would have
Reacher.
been 3 meetings now. We
And
could
Keith,
have done it
and
in
Keith.
2.
Oh, that's
Right, and it's not necessary to have 3 meetings, we can do it.
Well, it's necessary because we have to do it later.
That's right.
I think the compelling thing here is that timing urgency,
Right.
but also $1 million versus $1.4 million. I mean, you know,
We're talking about-
if it's appropriate at this point, as a member of finance, of fire and police, I'll make a motion that we go forward.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Let's say aye.
Just to be clear, you were making the motion on,
To recommend the council.
I think this is a motion to purchase, which is the first motion, first bullet item.
Right.
yes.
To recommend the council to purchase.
Correct.
So
Do we have to do a roll call for committee meeting?
Not at the
No,
committee.
not at the committee, no.
Yeah,
So to put it in
only-
perspective, we're gonna have about $32,000 worth of interest payments annually. Just so we know. If we do 600,000, if we do 900,000, then we got more.
Or roughly 47,000.
Okay, we did a motion and second, we said aye,
So any further business in fire?
Well, we could also have a recommendation on the resolution. The committee could recommend adoption of the resolution.
Committee commit, resolution number 2024-25.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
we have a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-25, is there a second?
This is a motion to recommend to council not to adopt.
Yes, motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we'll move that on to council.
Does the committee want to deal with the next topic?
I guess we would have to. Which would be the chief's car. The engine fell out. Or,
I recommend we buy the new engine.
That's 11,000 versus,
I know that.
yeah.
I know that.
Makes no sense.
If the Kelly Blue Book value is 10,000, it's gonna cost us 11,000 to put it in. I assume we'll get some money for it even without an engine.
We can sell it on municipal bid.
I'll make the motion.
No. When will we get this?
So the new vehicle is in stock at
New Holland.
New Holland Auto Group. It's
Where we
in
get the
stock.
police cars.
Yep. And it would be through CoStars as well. It would take a couple of days to complete the,
So soon.
and then up to 2-3 weeks to do the upfitting. So within the end of August, I would say, at the latest, we would have it.
Ethan is currently using
A scooter.
the pickup truck, or both the utility truck, as the chief's car, and, our codes, or our fire inspector is using Michelle's car. So,
How many miles does the car have that just died?
39,000. Yeah, so earlier this year, they had an issue with the turbo. It was sent over, got replaced. They found the other issue with the timing belt, made some corrections on that. And I worked through that and put kind of a Band-Aid fix on it. And when I picked it up last week over at the shop, they told me that they can't guarantee that it will last, even driving it back from Shillington back over to the firehouse.
What year is it?
It is a 2013.
It's only got 39,000 miles.
It is sat
We never
for a
shoot for a
long
while.
time.
yeah, this was the
Charlotte was
fire
using it.
commissioner's car, the borough fire commissioner.
So I gotta ask, our police department's gonna be asking for a vehicle coming up in the near future. I believe, all right?
Sorry?
And I believe our police department's gonna be asking for a new vehicle next year. Is there any way that we could use an old vehicle, make it I'm just trying to save a few bucks. Is that a possibility?
That's not a great place to put that.
Sorry, Any extra cars floating around out there?
I had gone through, Public Works as well to ask, if there was an extra vehicle running around, with the 3 firefighters that we brought on board. This week and next week, they're using the utility, to run around. I'm actually borrowing a loaner from the chief out in Muhlenberg Township.
You drive around a truck that says Muhlenberg on it? Nice.
But it's, you know, it's nice to have those working relationships to say, hey, you know, I'm down, we come out with our ladder truck, he was more than happy to send, you know, some help our way.
It's mutual aid coming our way.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second to purchase the chief's car.
What's the underlying make and model of the car? I missed that, was that a
It's
stop?
a 2024 Dodge Durango V8. It is through their commercial inventory down at New Holland.
And that's, quote, that is the police package.
Yes, sir.
I think the suggestion is to use the reserve money from the sale of the fire apparatus, because this borrowing resolution is only for the pump. So if we use that existing reserve money for this truck, then we can borrow just a little bit more.
Right, we borrow more on the pumper than we would have to buy this.
Right.
But you'd still have 400,000 to put towards the engine. You'd still have 400,000 to put towards the engine.
Yeah.
And again, the same thing, hopefully I get the members of the Relief Association in a good mood, and we can buy the lights and siren for the chief's car through relief. We have
Yeah.
over $600,000 in that fund.
That's another possible 20 grand, is that what you're saying? To get these lights and stuff? I know there was no, we didn't get.
We were thinking closer
Well,
to
you're going from-
65, but erring on the side of caution, we put not to exceed 75 because we
Okay.
don't have exact number yet.
Well, this is all gonna move pretty fast if you say yes, right? So
Yes.
we're gonna have time to razzle dazzle.
Well, relief can
After
reimburse
that.
the borough.
Oh, they're just giving back the money that we already paid?
That's what I'm gonna try to
Tell
do.
the organization, go for it.
I only got 2 people that could be issues. So, yeah, we have a motion pending. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. And
When are you gonna be under scrutiny next budget? Be very nice.
so at this time,
Fight like fires.
that is all I have for the Fire and Police Committee. And we'll now adjourn the Fire and Police Committee.
It says public comment.
Oh, no, we're at the committee.
We're at the committee going on.
You're right, we don't have to.
That's right.
So now we're gonna move into council meeting, special council meeting. Okay. How am I gonna wing this?
Same motions.
Just go back again, public
Yeah.
comment.
Okay, the committee, oh, that's right. We have public comment.
No,
Okay.
let's get on with it.
Run out of battery or what?
No, enough, it's just way too long for what we're doing.
Place to be. Okay, the committee discussed the purchase of a Pierce Enforcer fire engine pumper at a cost of $1,062,058. And the committee is recommending to council that we purchase this vehicle for no more than $1 million or $1.1 million. Is that correct? Is that Isn't that 1.1 is the number we have? Total?
1.062,
Oh, I thought we
Is
said
that all
not to
in
exceed, but I thought
1.062?
everything else we had 1.1, not to exceed 1.1.
the actual contract is up on the screen, it's 1,062,000.
Okay, all right, well then we'll do that.
Everything all included all.
Okay, then the committee is making a recommendation to council for, we purchased this piece of equipment at $1,062,058, and I will make that recommendation.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, please.
Second.
We have a motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reiner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Weinhofer?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes. Okay, motion passes, we're getting a new fire truck. Okay, the committee also discussed the purchase of a new, oh, I'm sorry. The committee is also making a motion, made a recommendation, and I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 2024-25 as to providing the borough with flexibility to reimburse itself after using internal funds to purchase the fire truck with tax exempt debt proceeds. And I will make that motion. Motion and second by Ron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Have to take that to the committee. Roll call now.
No.
I'm an aye.
Resolution number 2024-25 is approved or not. Okay. The committee also discussed replacement of the fire chief's vehicle. And I don't have that number. Oh.
Not to exceed 75, not a motion.
Okay, so the committee is recommending, and I'll make the motion, authorizing the purchase of a fire chief's vehicle through CoStars and upfitting of the vehicle at a cost not to exceed $75,000, using funds being held in reserve from the sale of the tower truck. And I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second.
Can I ask what the average lifespan is on this vehicle for you? Is it like a regular car or?
Mostly like a
I know
regular
that
car.
police vehicles, they fly through them fast.
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Well, yours doesn't have to run 24/7, does it?
Mine doesn't run 24/7.
Okay.
We got 10 years out of the other one.
Did get used for it at the time.
Just sat there.
Just sat there, now it's
For
dead with 39,000 miles on it.
I mean, it's like any vehicle, preventative maintenance.
Okay, so it is the lifespan of a typical
Yes.
car with its usage, because the police cars go really fast.
Every 2 years.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
just checking.
Matter of fact, one of our brand new ones, the other day, the battery died in it. Brand new.
Real good. That's my only question, okay.
So where we staying?
Motion is
Second.
Roll call.
Okay, motion and second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko? Councilmember Reiner?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Weinhofer?
Yes.
Council President James.
Yes. I think that's it.
Second public comment.
And, is there any more, public comment on non-agenda items?
A motion to close the meeting.
If only you could make that motion. But I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you one and all very much.